You're now connected to Vulcan Involvement with our international team. Danny's in California, USA.
And Vlad is located in Spain, Europa.
Fantastic Spanish, thank you, Danny. Through call discussions, interviews, and relating our own personal life awareness,
we hope to make your life journey a bit more peaceful, allowing our podcast to educate, evoke, and entertain. And today's guest, hold on, folks, who's coming from his hometown of Montreal, Canada, loves to entertain. Yes, he's an accomplished vocalist, even singing in Italian and French, and he has been coined the Canadian crooner. Now, Theater Pizzazz has stated, move over, Michael Bublé, there's a new Canadian heartthrob, and that is one David Marino. Welcome, David.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Well, let me add that David is also an actor who studied at the legendary acting school, the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York, and he's a passionate mental health advocate and works closely with an organization called Mindstrong. At 16, he performed at the Canada's hit TV series La Voix. I hope I pronounced it well, so it's The Voice. And ended up being a finalist. Congratulations. And it seems that when you auditioned the La Voix, you performed Elvis's Talk on You. Tell us or sing us about that experience.
I slept in this morning. I don't know, but but I will say, but I did sing. It's an Elvis song that I put a sort of twist on. So I did my own arrangement for that, and I did it there's pre-auditions for The Voice. So I did a pre-audition first, and then eventually I ended up in front of the judges on television, and the four turned their chairs. The four judges turned their chairs, and I ended up going all the way to the finals, which was just terrific. It was a great experience.
Oh my! Yeah. Can you share what did you feel at that moment when just before? What happened then?
Oh, just before I got on the stage? I'm always a little anxious before I get on stage. I think that's normal. I think it wouldn't be normal if I wasn't. I think I try to use that energy and that anxiety to fuel me to perform, my best. So I was nervous, I want to do a good job, but I got up there and they hit their buttons within like 5 seconds. So I was, then I just had fun. I just had fun on stage, and it was great.
Wow, amazing.
And what year was that, David?
That was in 2017.
Wow.
2017. It's been a while now. Yeah, I was only 16, or I think I was 17 at the time, actually. I can't remember, but one of those. And it was my first experience ever on television. So it was great. It was a great learning experience for me.
Oh my gosh. Now, okay, so it seems you got started at about 6 years old, and I think your father introduced you to who else but Frank Sinatra's music.
Yeah.
And I guess that did it. You were
exactly. Well, yeah, I was 6 years old, and I got up on a chair, and actually the first song I ever sang was a Shania Twain song called from I know, out of left field, From This Moment On. I sang that. And I know, gorgeous song. And my parents were like, hey, he could actually sing in tune. Maybe we should put him in singing lessons. And then I was like totally on board. I just loved music. So they put me in singing lessons. And a year later, my dad played a Sinatra record. They Can't Take That Away From Me was the song. And from then, I just fell in love with the world of standards. I even wanted a fedora for Christmas because I really wanted to just, be like a crooner, as a 7-year-old kid. And then I met a musical director in Montreal by the name of John Gilbert, who introduced me to the Great American Songbook and all the great songwriters, the Cole Porters, the Harold Arlens, the Gershwins, and other jazz singers and musical theater singers, Mel Torme, Ella Fitzgerald, Rosemary Clooney, Blossom Dearie. The list goes on and on. And it's the rest is history. So, yeah.
I mean, you're like an old soul. I mean, somebody at 16 nowadays, usually heads toward a different direction. I think it's fabulous, because I mean, these standard songs are so iconic.
They are, and I am an old soul, and it's a lot of people ask me what draws you to that kind of music, and it's really I don't really have an answer to that. It's just a connection that I have. It's an emotional connection that I felt from when I was a kid, and I haven't strayed from my love for that kind of music ever. So and I plan on singing it forever. So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's a reason that those songs haven't died and that they've lasted so long, because they're just so well written and they're so simple and about the human experience, and they tell human stories that everyone can relate to. And I don't think they ever will die. And hopefully I can do my part in keeping them alive. So.
Please. Now, you perform regularly at the Place des Arts in Montreal, and just weeks ago, you completed your American West Coast debut tour, and you continue to appear at the iconic Birdland Jazz Club in New York. My God, talk about iconic, with the legendary pianist Billy Stritch, who's been a longtime musical director for such celebrated artists as Tony Bennett and Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, it's just a dream come true to be able to work with Billy. Has just the knowledge that he has and the experience that he oozes, and just being able to rehearse with him and learn from him and share a stage with him. It's truly, I'm just so grateful. And I'll be at Birdland again on December 30th with Billy, and I'm very excited. So, and yeah, Place des Arts, and I was just in California, which was great. It was my first time, and it went super well. So,
I know, and I snuck a look on your Facebook page, and I love it. I saw a picture of you and your father in front of the old Frank Sinatra home.
Yeah, we were there. We were at the estate, right in front of the estate. It's crazy. It's just to be there. I felt Sinatra's presence in that moment. It was great. Yeah.
You're touring a lot this year, and that can sometimes be lonely and challenging. I don't know, maybe that is the experience you're having. But I understand that your father accompanies you with that, in that experience.
Yeah, no, it's great. My dad and my parents have always been so supportive of what I do, and I'm just really lucky, because not all parents are supportive of their children in the arts or pursuing the arts, and my dad and my mom, they're both just so supportive, and they follow me around wherever I am. So it just means the world to me, and I love them so much. So yeah,
that's a great relationship.
Great.
Wow. Now, do you live with your parents? Do you live on your own?
Currently, I live with my parents. Yeah, I'm in Montreal. I was living in New York for a couple years, but after I graduated, I moved back in, and they've just been, supporting me in any way they can. So it's been great.
And do you have any siblings and or pets?
I had pets. Unfortunately, he passed away. But I had a little dog, a little Bichon frisé, by the name of Daisy, and she was beautiful. And I have an older brother. His name's Francis, and he's a pharmacist, and he lives in the Toronto Niagara region. So, yeah.
Oh, now yeah. I have a personal question for you. Do you currently have a boyfriend? But before you answer, yeah. I just have to say, when you and I did a brief chat together, I asked you if it was okay to talk about your dating life. And here's what you said. I'm not exactly out to many people in my family, but sure, Dan, that's okay. I don't mind talking about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That impressed me. You are brave, strong, and
Thank you.
honest.
Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, no, I've never really talked about it. It's I only came out a couple years ago, actually, like when I was 22, to my family, but not to my parents, but not to anybody else really. So it's and I was dating someone at the time, but I'm not currently dating anyone right now. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it's definitely a brave and thing to do, and but this is me, so this is what it is. Yeah.
Did you have any challenges about coming out or facing
I
being?
did. Yeah, I did. I mean, at first it was. I was raised in a very Italian Catholic family. So there's obviously challenges. Exactly. Madonna mia. So there were definitely challenges in terms of coming to terms with that and accepting myself. But then my parents' reaction was just so lovely. That it just made things so much easier for me, and it was more of an internal thing that was difficult, that I was sort of hesitant personally. I felt like maybe I wouldn't be accepted or I wouldn't be loved by my family, but they were just so loving, and we love you for who you are, and that was it. So
David, I see that you have quite a lot of support around you. What are those things that are inside you that help you to overcome all those challenges and inner problems?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes I just try to stay true to myself and stay as grounded as possible, and seek help. Lean on people. I think it's important to allow people to help you, and talk to people and say what you're truly feeling. And I think communication is just so important. And that has helped me a lot. Being open with my feelings and communicating what I'm feeling has helped me a lot. So
You are an old soul, boy. Wow. It took me a long time to learn that. Oh my God. Did you seek any professional therapy?
I was in therapy yes, after I came out, I was in therapy. I mean, I still am. I'm still in therapy. I think therapy is just so important. I think everyone should be in therapy, because everybody has, their feelings that they need to get off their chest. And if you keep them bottled up, these feelings, it's just going to drive you crazy, So I think it's important to talk, and I recommend therapy to everyone. So yeah.
Beautifully said.
Yeah. Because I feel like there's just such a stigma that if you're in therapy, then there must be something wrong with you, which just is not true at all. Therapy is just a platform and a place to express what you're feeling. Everybody has feelings, So I think it's just so important. And I learned that a lot too, working with mental health and the Mindstrong Foundation, working with psychologists and psychiatrists, and just like seeing their work and what they do, and seeing their world. It just, I learned how important it is.
Where does this passion for mental health stem from?
Yeah, well, originally it started, I have a cousin in my family who struggles a lot with mental health. He was struggling a lot with depression, anxiety, and other stuff as well, and bullying. I got involved as a way to, give back to him. And then it just grew and grew. And I thought, there's no better way to do this than through my passion, which is music. So I wanted to organize concerts, and then all the funds that came out of those concerts went directly to the foundation. So,
which is Mindstrong Organization. Hopefully we can put that up at the bottom. Hashtag stop the silence, which you were just talking about. We're all human beings. We all get depressed. We all have anxiety. Come on, let's talk about it.
Exactly. We need to talk about it. And it's so hard because like mental health as opposed to physical health is, it's not as easy to spot, or, like if you have a broken leg, oh, you have to go to the doctor. But if you're feeling something, there's a tendency to invalidate or not understand, or, what someone's feeling. And that's why I think it's so important to talk about it and raise awareness for it.
Well, and let me just add that you have organized several fundraising concerts, and one of them you raised over $50,000 for Montreal's Jewish General Hospital. Wow.
Yeah, that's honestly to date, I think my most proud accomplishment is being able to, raise that kind of money for such an important cause. And with that money went towards building a completely new psychiatric facility at the hospital. So that was a contribution to that, project. So I was just over the moon. It was very emotional and touching to be involved in something like that.
I can hear that there is a lot of personal work done in you, David. So what do you do in times of depression?
I try to do what I love. I focus on what I love. So for me, it's like singing and music helps me and leads me, and being with family and being with people and talking to people that I love. That's sort of what helps me get through the most. Having a support, I think building a support system is so important,
Do you have any special song for that?
I listen to a lot of Cole Porter. Cole Porter is a guy I listen to a lot, so.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, like, in your off times or when you're by yourself or just on a daily routine, is there somebody in particular you go to? I don't know, Rosemary Clooney, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Lady Gaga. I mean,
Well, I would say I listen a lot to my two top are Tony Bennett on the male side and Rosemary Clooney.
Rosemary. Oh, love her.
I just think that Rosemary Clooney was just the best of the best. She knew how to deliver. What she did was just so simple, so complicated, so hard to do, but just so simple, in the sense that it was just the lyric and the telling of the story, and that was it. There was no unnecessary riffs or, everything was just based on the lyric and on the emotion of the song. And she's just my biggest inspiration, I would say.
Okay, so two questions. Have you seen White Christmas?
Yes. Yes.
Good. And
Yes.
have you had the opportunity to, I love it. That's one of my favorites. And have you had the opportunity to listen to Bette Midler's album, singing Rosemary Clooney's song?
Rosemary Clooney. Yes. I listened to some. I didn't listen to the full album, but I listened. There's a couple songs that I heard on it, like In the Cool of the Evening. That's a great song that I love. And a couple others that I heard. But I love Bette Midler, and yeah, oh my God, it was great.
Who doesn't love Bette Midler, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You have to.
Yes.
What do you think, David? Seeing all those things around you, inside you, what are the most important or relevant things for you that you have discovered in the recent years about you?
Yeah. What I've discovered about myself, you mean? The more and more years go by, I'm discovering more and more how much I just love to perform, which is just like, it's just, and I know that might seem like an obvious answer, but it's just every time I get on that stage, I just realize a bit more how much I love it, which is just, it's crazy. It feels like a second home to me, being on that stage. Like I feel like that's where I belong, so hopefully I get more and more opportunities to do that. But also I discovered how much I love to give. And I think that might be from, my family, and my grandparents are like that. But I really, for me, music is not about me or the singing or like, hey, I'm a singer. It's just more about giving and sharing stories with people and hopefully helping people, go get through difficult times or just doing what I can. I think that's the reason why music exists, is to help people get through difficult times, or just to put a smile on their face, or So that's that.
Before you tell that, you like the stories
Yeah.
that all those singers, old
Yeah.
singers, told. What story would you like to tell with your songs, with your art, with your singing?
I try to stay where I am. So depending on what I'm going through currently, which is going to change from year to year. So like, let's say I'm in a space where I'm going through a heartbreak, then I try to start where I am, and like I share personally, what I'm going through, at the moment. Or if I'm in a moment where I'm like super happy and good things are happening, I just want to stay truthful to who I am and what I'm living in a current moment, and try to translate that to an audience. So.
Okay, if I wasn't married, I would ask you to be my husband, okay?
Me too. Yeah. Thank you.
We're both married, but damn it.
Sorry.
So you have at least 2 new fans now. I know that you have lots of fans, but now you have 2 more fans.
Great, amazing. Thank you. That means a lot.
Is there someone you look up to? Is there someone you would consider a role model?
Well, Rosemary Clooney, like you just said, and Tony Bennett. Those are the two. I mean, I also have role models. One of my mentors actually is Randy Graff, who Tony winner. She was in City of Angels, and she's a teacher and a mentor to me. She's taught me a lot about acting a song and a lyric, and I still get advice from her all the time. So, Randy as well.
What do they represent for you? If you could take some keywords of each of them, what would it be?
Truthful, vulnerable, genuine, and grounded. I think, words. Yeah. That's what I try to, emanate, and that's what they teach me. So, yeah.
Where do you see yourself professionally and personally in say 10 years?
I mean, in 10 years, I'd love to tour. I want to sing all over the world. I'd love to tour in theaters. I'd also love to be on Broadway at some point. Not sure how or when or what exactly, but hopefully one day. That would be great. And as long as I just want to make a living doing what I love, that's the simple answer.
See, I told you guys he likes to perform, loves to perform. See, I was not lying.
You weren't. You were correct, 100%.
In all those travels and all around the world, if you could only see one person in the concert, who would you choose?
My grandfather. Just because my grandfather is just, I just love him so much, and he listens. We listen to music a lot together, and every time he's there, I just feel the love, and I love him, and he loves me, and it's just there's a special connection and relationship there. So, yeah.
That's very sweet. Yeah. If you could see someone in concert who has died and gone to another planet, whatever.
So many people.
Who would you choose? I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but who would you choose?
Yeah. Oh wow! Can I say multiple people? Yeah. I mean, I've already seen Tony in concert. I'd love to see Rosemary Clooney. I'd love to see. I really wanted to see Sammy Davis Jr. in concert, just because I feel like he's probably the greatest entertainer of all time. So and like the Rat. I'd love to have seen the Rat Pack together with like that show with Liza Minnelli that they did. It was like a Rat Pack.
Oh my God.
I would have loved to see that. Also Mel Torme. I would have loved to see Mel Torme. I'm a huge Mel Torme fan as well. And Peggy Lee. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Peggy Lee. Yeah.
I can imagine that concert, all together.
All of them together. All of them.
Do you have a motto to live by? I heard some ideas. Maybe you could formulate one.
Stay true to yourself. Honestly, that's the biggest thing for me. I especially in the arts. I mean, there's a lot of in this business. I mean, there's a lot of people trying to tell you what to do, or or like do this and do that, and sometimes it could be easy to get distracted with other people's opinions. you know what you want and what your heart desires. So I think I try to stick to that as much as possible.
Now, in the morning when you wake up, is there something in particular that before you get out of bed or right after you get out of bed?
Yeah, well, coffee is the first thing I go to.
Usually, Italian one, I guess.
Italian, yeah, exactly. It is an espresso, usually. I'm full of, or a cappuccino sometimes. But I'll always go for coffee. And I shower every morning, so shower. And then I sing. Then I just sing all day, every day. and I consume music and I rehearse and I work on projects that I want to do and I plan and then sometimes I'll watch a TV show or something, So that's what I do. That's my day. That's a day in the life of David.
What are you currently streaming?
Oh, I actually just watched Heartstopper, which I thought was so sweet.
Oh,
I know.
Wow.
It's just such a sweet TV show. I just loved it so much. It was really, really great. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies or what do you do besides sing?
Besides sing, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a bit OCD when it comes and obsessive when it comes to singing and stuff. So that's most of my day. But I take dance classes. I love to dance. That's a hobby for me, I would say.
What
dancing. I do a lot of jazz, like Luigi and Fosse type dancing, things like that, which I've never performed it or anything. So that's why I call it a hobby. But I love to be in dance class. It keeps me in shape. And I like it.
You're incredible. I have some friends who are professional dancers and they never go to the discos because they're so sick and tired. And sometimes I ask myself if the professional singers go to karaoke.
I've never gone to karaoke. Yeah, never. Actually, that's a lie. I've been once, but I didn't get up and sing. I don't feel comfortable getting up and singing at karaoke. It feels weird to me. It's
too much public for you.
Yeah, no. But I do have fun watching other people getting up and singing at karaoke. I think that's great. Yeah.
David, what do you think happens after we die?
Oh, man. Again, this might be a simple answer, but I really don't know. I like to live in the unknown. I mean, I like to believe that life goes on somehow, like reincarnation. That would be nice if like souls could, transport and continue on living. But I also I don't know. Hopefully something good. Hopefully. So.
I hope so.
Yeah.
What souls would you like to be surrounded by?
Loving souls and generous and giving souls, as long as I'm away from selfish souls, I'm good. Yeah.
Good comment.
Yeah.
What do you wear to bed at night?
I wear pajamas. Yeah, usually.
Do you have any pictures? We could
No.
put it afterwards and the after production. Post production.
I do not. Sorry.
What's your favorite movie, book, food, and color?
Okay, movie. I just love anything with Donald O'Connor in it. I'm a huge Donald O'Connor fan. What's that movie he did? The one where he sings "Make him laugh, make him laugh."
Oh, with Fred Astaire.
Yeah, that one. Yes. I for some reason the title is skipping my head, but I just adore that movie. What was next? Color. My favorite color is orange.
Right.
I love orange.
Stunning.
No, like a sunset orange.
Mhm.
I've always been drawn to orange. Not sure why, but
Interesting.
yeah. And
Book?
I love to read like acting like books, like different acting techniques and things like that. So I was reading this Sanford. Well, I studied Meisner, so. But I was reading a Sanford Meisner book that I love that really helped me get through. There's also a book I have. Oh, I'll be right back. It's right there. I'm just reading it. I'll get it. 1 second.
Okay, American Songbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great book, and it talks about like Tony Bennett, Mabel Mercer, like cabaret singers, jazz singers. Just it's great, and I love it.
when you were studying at the neighborhood playhouse,
Yeah.
did they have you read like the Stanislavski system or anything?
Yeah, we read Stanislavski. It was very Meisner based, but we read Stanislavski as well. And I also read myself. I learned about like, the method and Strasbourg and things like that. But yeah, I think it's important to dive into all techniques and then build your own toolbox and use what's useful for you as an actor and leave the rest. So.
Is there any song or any play that you want to realize? It's like must realize, must sing, must play.
Yeah. I really would love to originate a role. I think that's the biggest goal for me. I would love to be in some sort of like, I don't know, like a songbook standard musical, or that like something new, something original. I think that would be great.
If there were a musical about David, how would it be?
That's a good question. I mean, there's be a lot of Italian. It would be very multilingual. There would be something about my family, an Italian family, my grandparents coming from Italy. It would be sort of, I think, biographical if I were to ever do a musical about me. I don't know that I will, but it would be sort of biographical. Yeah.
If you were to write a memoir now, what would the title be?
I think I would name it after Aznavour's song, Formidable. Formidable. That would be the title, I think. I would use Aznavour's song title as a title. Yeah.
And what does that mean in English?
Formidable. You're the one for me, formidable. Formidable. Yeah, it means it's almost a direct translation. Yeah.
It's as it would be. David, if there were one thing you would like to change in you and your personality, is there anything? What would it be?
I think I think I'm just such a perfectionist sometimes that it gets to me. I sometimes I want things to be perfect all the time, and that's not how life works. So I think I'd want to get rid of that, and be okay with failing a bit more. Sometimes that's hard for me.
I hope sometimes it comes with the age. I don't know, but you're young enough to have time for it.
Right.
Well, I mean, I can't believe we have already come upon our Vladdy and I's last question for you.
Oh, wow.
But before we ask it, is there anything you would like to share or anything you would like to say before we say au revoir?
Au revoir. Right. I guess I thank you for having me, and also I have a couple shows in Montreal. If anyone's in Montreal, on July 6th at Place des Arts, and I'm at Birdland on December 30th, and and I had a blast talking with you today. So thank you so much.
And now you have a website right now. You're working on it, or?
I'm working on it. I'm also working on a first album, which I'm very excited about. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have a title yet?
No, but it will likely be a French songbook album. So songs from Michel Legrand and a lot of songs. Actually, Barbra Streisand did a similar album called Je m'appelle Barbara.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will it be Je m'appelle David?
No. It's gonna have a different. Imagine, that would be funny. But it's gonna be sort of a French songbook album with a lot of those songs have English lyrics too. So I'm very excited about it.
Break a leg.
Thank you.
So our last question really is, what name one word or short phrase that describes David Marino?
The first word that comes to mind is goofy. I like to think I'm a very goofy person in a good way. I'm a very serious person too, but I feel like I like to lead my life with fun and try to, not take everything so seriously. You only live once, so there's no point in taking everything so seriously, and just have fun and do what you love. So, yeah.
Very well said. Well, we want to thank our guest, David, for his time today. And we want to thank you, our audience, for joining us. We've learned a lot about this talented, smart man, sage, I would say, S-A-G-E. We have more incredible guests coming up your way, so please stay tuned for our next episode.
And please subscribe so you can be notified of our episodes and get full updates from us. Also, be sure and like our channel as well.
Please, please. So, adios.
Ciao.
And
Au
good
revoir.
luck from California, Spain, and Canada. Wow. Talk about international.